Welcome back. I've got a new episode of 666 Seconds of Murder. That means this video will be less than 666 seconds or 11 minutes and 6 seconds. It's very simple. Get to the point, do it quickly. Now, it's important to remember that no one has been found guilty of this crime yet or these crimes yet. These are just my thoughts on the topic, and everything I discuss is alleged. Now, most of my audience here is with me on this case when it comes to the guilt of Bryan Kohberger. In the very beginning, I thought he was guilty due to the DNA on the button snap, but once I learned more about transfer DNA, I was definitely back on the fence again. I've been on the fence for a while, but I'll admit I lean toward that he's not guilty at all. It seems like a frame job to me, but I'm willing to hear the evidence to make my final decision. Now, the recent information that has come out about the K-bar knife has definitely got me thinking. If we're to believe what they're telling us, and that's definitely a stretch for me, given the way that the authorities have misled us and outright lied about some of the information, I'm willing to at least listen to what they've got to say about it. But the more I hear about the clicks on Amazon and how they determined he bought the knife, sheath, and sharpener, I've got some doubts. Now, one thing I will say is that if Bryan did this and actually did purchase the knife on Amazon, he's a total idiot. How does a person with his education and intellect make a mistake like that? I mean, he could have gone to a gun and knife show in Idaho where there's got to be dozens of them every weekend, or he could have shopped at an Army Navy surplus store. The K-bar is the most popular utility knife and is used by hunters, fishermen, and people that just like the outdoors. And Bryan was a hiker and liked being outside. So it makes total sense that he would have had a K-bar knife. Now, the real question is, what does the autopsy tell us about the murder weapon? I mean, was a K-bar knife even used? And if so, was that the only weapon that was used? We've heard lots of rumors that the wounds were not the same. Was the knife sheath left behind as a sort of red herring to throw us off? The fact his DNA was found on the button snap makes me feel it's got to either be totally legit or this was just planted evidence. Don't know. So if he did have a K-bar, did it get stolen? I guess that's possible. Did he pawn it for cash? Did he use it on a hike and realize he didn't really like it and sold the knife to someone else? We do know that there were a couple of them across the street at the Sigma Chi house. There were pictures on Facebook with them wielding knives and stimulated battle nonsense at the frat house. I believe Brent Kopacka had one as well. Without serial numbers, we don't know how the prosecution can even prove the knife was his, if there even was a K-bar knife used in the first place. As I've said before, how do we not know that the knife and sheath were in Maddie's room for protection? It was already there. And that's why it was beneath her and the comforter and not sitting on top or on the floor. That would be more indicative of somebody leaving it behind. People were nervous in that house. We know this. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that she had it for protection. Kaylee didn't really want to go back for some reason. We've heard that from her mother, but wanted to show Maddie her new car. And unfortunately, that's how she ended, her life was ended. What I'm saying is that let's answer the first question. Was a K-bar knife used in the crimes? If so, then we can look at the rest of it, such as, his side of the story and what may have happened to put the knife there and all that. If not, then who cares if he bought a K-bar knife? It's like saying we're going to question the fact that he had a bow and arrow in his apartment, but that was not the weapon that was used. So who cares that he had the bow and arrow? It just doesn't make any sense to not answer the first question before we worry about the rest of it. Is it possible that Bryan was so good at what he did that he was able to completely rid his car of any sign that he had been there and did it without leaving a sign that he cleaned up? Same with the apartment and the storage unit. What about his office at WSU? So are we to believe that he's so thorough to defy the very best in forensic technology today, but was stupid enough to leave his DNA on the button snap and to leave the sheath behind? Just, it's hard to believe. I also find it difficult to believe that he would be dumb enough to take his car to the scene and circle the house multiple times, doing 3-point turns, knowing that there's cameras all over the place. When you think about stuff like this in plain terms, it just doesn't pass the smell test. It really doesn't. But what about all the buzz about the selfie that he took the following morning at 10:30? You know, is he the only person at 10:30 that morning that was taking selfies? I mean, the guilters out there are saying he looks like he's gloating over the crimes and that sort of thing, but I'm not seeing it. I mean, does he look a little awkward? Yeah, but we knew that about Bryan. That's just how he is. So I don't know about, sorry, my phone was ringing. But the guilters out there are going to find whatever they want to find, and the non-guilters out there are going to find, you know, what we're going to find about that picture. So I don't know what to say about it other than it's a selfie that he took, but it doesn't make any sense to me to get all crazy about it. I remember talking to A.R. Hayes one time about the crime and about what the reaction would be to a person doing a crime like that. He did a lot of time with people that had committed murder. And he said that, you know, he felt that a person doing this type of crime would probably hole up somewhere and just keep a low profile for quite a while. Certainly not go to the doctor or shopping at Albertsons or the suspicious people in this story. You know, that everybody left town right after this happened, but he was the only one that stuck around. He kept on working and doing what. Seriously, the noon bell in the town that I live in. He kept on working and doing what he was doing for a month or so before going home to Pennsylvania for Christmas with his father. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this one and what you think about the noon bell here in the town I live in. Comment below with your thoughts. Big thanks to all the members of the Horns High Club. You guys are fantastic. I really appreciate your support. And don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. And drop a comment below and let me know what you think. We'll see you next time.